they feel it. They feel the regret seeping in their body. The regret is hurting them deeply. The regret is eating them alive. Look, regret is like a creeping shadow that follows those who hurt others, whether they realize it in the moment or not. It doesn't announce its arrival. It slips in slowly, like a thief in the night, and one day, it hits them with a clarity they never expected. To those who thought they could walk away from the damage they caused without consequence, those who use people like they meant nothing, regret will be your biggest karma. Oh, and they will feel it when it comes for them. And believe me, it will come. You see, manipulators think they're clever. They think they can play the game of life, bending people to their will, controlling hearts and minds like puppets. They move through the world with false smiles, telling the stories they want others to believe, leaving behind a trail of chaos disguised as victories. They tell themselves they're in control, that they can hide behind their lies, that they can shape the truth to suit their needs. But there's one thing they can never outrun, no matter how slick their deception: their damn self. At first, regret doesn't seem like much. To a manipulator, it's just a fleeting moment of discomfort, something they can easily dismiss. They'll tell themselves, it wasn't that bad. It didn't hurt anyone. I had no choice. They'll justify every decision, every lie, every betrayal, burying the seeds of regret deep within the recesses of their minds. They'll keep moving, keep lying, keep manipulating, convincing themselves that they can outrun the consequences, that they can escape the price of their actions. They will run from the truth, as if running fast enough will somehow leave their conscience behind. Yeah, they will be running in circles. Regret is not an external force that can be outrun. It doesn't rely on time, on distractions, or on new conquests. It is an internal force, a mirror that reflects the damage they've caused, showing them the faces of those they've used, manipulated, and discarded. It isn't something that can be outrun by finding new targets or creating shiny new lies. No matter how much a manipulator tries to run from the people they've hurt, no matter how much they push the consequences out of their mind, regret will always be there, quietly following them like a shadow. That's why people who are kind-hearted always try their best to move with love in their heart, because we've seen and know how regret can simply eat you alive. And it gets super messy. Listen, regret doesn't knock on the door. It doesn't come in a rush of guilt or shame. No, it creeps in slowly and silently until it becomes impossible to ignore. They wake up one morning and realize the lies are starting to catch up to them. The games they played are starting to unravel, and the truth they tried so hard to bury is slowly rising to the surface. It's in the quiet moments when they're alone with their thoughts that regret makes its presence known. It's in the empty spaces, in the silent guilt, in the moments when they try to sleep and can't because their own mind is betraying them. It's in the memory of every person they've hurt, the echo of every broken promise, the shame of every decision they thought they could escape. For the manipulator, regret is not just a feeling, it's a force. It chips away at their confidence, slowly replacing their illusions of control with the harsh reality of the damage they've done. The mind that once prided itself on clever tricks, on controlling every situation, begins to crumble under the weight of the truth. The lies that once felt like armor become chains, pulling them deeper into the abyss of their own making. Every time they think they've outrun it, every time they try to put up a new mask, regret is there, waiting, watching, relentlessly breaking them down, piece by piece. They try to run from the truth. They think they can escape the consequences of their actions by pretending it never happened, by surrounding themselves with new distractions, by creating new stories to tell. They find new people to manipulate, new situations to control, always trying to move faster, further away from what they've done. But regret doesn't let them escape. It doesn't care how many new lies they tell. It doesn't care how many people they convince. It follows them everywhere they go, seeping into the cracks of their consciousness, until one day, it bursts through in a flood of overwhelming emotion. It's the moment when they realize they can't outrun it anymore, the moment when they see the damage they've caused and finally understand that they're the ones who will suffer for it forever and ever, unless they will take accountability for what they've done. Sounds funny, right? because we know damn well that that will never happen. Listen closely. Yes, we are kind. Yes, we are loving. But the love we once offered you, pure and full of warmth, is no longer the gentle, compassionate force it once was. You took it for granted, didn't you? You thought it would always be there, ready to forgive, ready to love, always open and willing. You used it, twisted it, and in the end, you walked away as if it meant nothing. But what you didn't understand is that the heart of a kind person, when repeatedly broken, doesn't stay fragile forever. It doesn't keep bleeding out for someone who never cared about its worth. No, that heart hardens like a damn rock. It grows cold, and when it finally closes, it doesn't just lock you out. It locks the door to any future connection, any future compassion for you. And yes, I will throw away the key. We don't play games over here. Manipulators probably thought they won, that they could walk away like a boss, free of all damage. But what they don't realize is that the kindness they took advantage of has turned into something much darker. It's a silence, a stillness, an indifference that cuts deeper than any anger could. This cuts deep, so damn deep. Look, kind-hearted people have seen who you really are, and their silence is now a reminder of the finality of your mistakes. The heart that once bled for you now beats for nothing but its own peace. And the worst part, they don't need to chase you down for revenge. They don't need to call you out. They don't need to do a single thing. No, they will simply watch you. They will watch as you drown in the regret of your own making, helpless in the realization that the person you once had, who loved you unconditionally, who gave you everything, no longer exists in the way you remember. The love we had for you is now a shadow, gone. And in its place is a coldness that you will never be able to thaw. As you make mistakes, as you struggle with the weight of your own guilt, they will be there, standing at a distance, unaffected by the chaos you've created. We've seen who you are now, and they know you won't change. We know that the person who we once believed you to be is a lie, and we'll never allow ourselves to be fooled again. And as they drown in their regret, we will remain unmoved. Not because we're heartless, but because we've learned the hard way that kindness is not a currency to be spent on people who will only devalue it. Listen closely. You better start appreciating those who have been there for you when you were at your worst, and do not ever cross them. Because if you do, then we step aside and watch all hell break loose. We will stand by as we watch it burn. Not because we have malintentions, but because the price of your actions will definitely catch up to you. And when you tried to burn us, you unintentionally built a chair for us to have a front row seat for when it all goes down. We've learned the hard way that some people are never meant to be in our life. Those who take without giving, those who tear down instead of building up, don't deserve a space in our life anymore. And now they understand that the only thing left to do is let them deal with the mess they've created all on their own. And yet to step aside after being supportive for so many years, yes, it does hurt us, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it is an easy thing to do. But once I say I am done, I am done. And once we say that we are done, we are done. What you fail to realize is that when you hurt a kind person, when you manipulate their trust, you aren't just hurting them. You're creating a version of them that doesn't need you anymore. The kind heart that once believed in second chances, in forgiveness, in the goodness of others, now knows better. It knows that some people never change. It knows that once trust is broken beyond repair, it's impossible to fix. And so when you try to come back, when you try to apologize or seek redemption, that same heart will not open up to you. Like I said, we throw away the damn key. It will be as cold as ice, unyielding and unmoving. You will see no sign of forgiveness, no sign of the love that was once there. You will see only the cold, hard truth of what you've done. You may not realize it yet, but every time you try to turn back to them, you're only digging yourself deeper into the hole of your own regret. You will try to rationalize your actions, try to excuse your behavior, but in the end, it won't matter. The heart that once gave you everything now beats in quiet defiance of you. As you watch your own world fall apart, as you realize that the love you took for granted is gone, you'll understand. You and we'll see it. We'll see you struggle as you beg, as you try to undo the damage you've done. But the truth is, it's too late. The moment you broke our trust, the moment you took advantage of our love, was the moment you messed up big time. The kindness you thought you could manipulate is now a wall, and no matter how hard you try to break it down, it will remain standing, impenetrable, because it was built on lessons learned from the pain you caused. So, as you drown in your regret, as the weight of your mistakes finally crushes you, know this. We are not going to wait for your cheap apology. We are not going to wait for you to change. This is where they underestimate us. Look, we will definitely let you go for good. We have done the waiting game already for so many years, and it got us nowhere. Like literally nowhere. They've moved forward, and yes, we will let them struggle with the consequences of their own actions. They thought they could escape the repercussions of their actions, but the truth is, they can never escape. Guys, let them stay trapped in the prison of their own regret. Let them see that the door is locked from the inside. Now those dark voices go off inside their head, they won't stop asking, what if I didn't do that? What if I had told the truth? What if you hadn't hurt those people? It's the deep, gnawing realization that they can't undo the harm they've done, and that no matter how hard they try to convince themselves otherwise, they will never ever be free of the consequences. Doesn't matter if they start a whole new life. The regret will be hanging over them like a heavy rain cloud. Their lost look, it's inescapable. And in that moment of realization, when they finally come face to face with themselves, they are forced to confront the truth they've been running from all along. They are the architects of their own downfall. Give them a pencil and watch them sketch their own demise right in front of your eyes. Guys, don't you ever feel bad about yourself. You gave it your all. You gave it your best. You even went so far that you were willing to lose yourself over them. It's done. It's done, you hear me? Let them break under the weight of regret. Let them lose their minds. They will see what it felt like to run through the maze they've created. The confidence they once had in their ability to manipulate others becomes doubt. The so-called clever tricks they used to pull become traps they can't escape. Their own lies, once their greatest weapon. The more they try to run from it, the more it consumes them. It poisons their thoughts, their future relationships, and most importantly, their peace of mind. Every time they look in the mirror, they see the reflection of someone they no longer recognize. And that is the scariest thing to experience. They try to hold it together, try to keep the facade up, but inside, they are slowly dying. The regret is too heavy, too persistent, and it's driving them mad. I am here to tell you that they deserve whatever is coming for them. And no matter how much they try to deny it, they will always be trapped in their own mind, with nothing left but the bitter taste of their own self-destruction. Once again, it's time to let go. You've done all you could. Heal yourself and get what you deserve, and don't forget to move with kindness. But this time we're cautious. Very, very cautious. And guys, please remember, it's okay to be painted as a villain as long as we know in our spirits that we are a true hero in our own story. Now go back into the world with your chest up and your head held high. Okay?